As goofy as it looks, let's knit a sock for the KR850. So every year, I print off the Singer sock book, and every year I lose it. Last year, I put it in a book, and let's hope that I don't lose it again. So what we're going to do for the KR850 knit along is to do another pair of socks. For the ease of making this project, we're going to use a simple flat sock. I'm going to do a size 10, and I think it's 3-ply. 32 stitches, 48 rows, 10 centimeters. 4-ply, 6, 5-ply, 7. So we'll do a simple seamed sock. I'm going to call it 3-ply. I'm going to do all these ones that are already highlighted in orange, and we'll see what happens. And we're going to use the ribber for the entire project. I did see about 5 or 6 years ago a lovely lady make a video where she kept the ribber up for the entire project, and when she did her partial knitting, she just transferred the stitches up, did the partial, transferred the stitches back to the ribber, and carried on from there. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to try and make our own video doing a total rib sock where the ribber stays up, but we will be knitting part of it on the main bed. So wish us luck. I gotta find some sock yarn, and then we'll get going. Okay, so our instructions say 73 stitches. So 30 and 30 is 60. 35 and 35 is 70. 1, 2, 3. All right. I'm actually going to start with waste yarn, and I'm going to do many rows of waste yarn, and then I'm going to do a row of ravel cord, and then we will do an E-wrap and then transfer to the ribber. So let me get the waste yarn on there, and then we'll get going. Okay, I want to make sure that I have lots of waste yarn. Okay, that's like 30 rows. Now you guys never, well, not never, rarely ever see me use ravel cord, but in this case I kind of have to, because I need this to release easily, and I need it to be contrast from my yarn. But the only yarn I could find was almost the same color as my waste yarn. So that's not going to work. At least not very easily. Tension 10 for my ravel cord. Okay, ravel cord is there. And now I'm going to E-wrap. Oh, my goodness, I'm so disorganized. I'm going to E-wrap my sock yarn. As you can see, my sock yarn is going to be too close in color for most of this knitting. Whew. Give myself a little bit of a yarn tail. Seeing me E-wrap is pretty boring, so I will pause until I get to this end. I almost got carried away and forgot to turn the camera back on. So here's the last ones. All right. Now, we need to pull these down just a little bit, move them forward. The instructions for the Singer Sock book say tension 3, so we're going to go tension 3. And we're going to knit 1 row across, and then we're going to do some transfers onto the ribber. Now we remove the yarn, take off the sinker plate. Put on the connecting arm for the ribber. Tension on the ribber, tension on the main bed, both at 3. Now, the one thing I forgot to do was to put the yarn into the connecting arm. So we will do that now. Make sure that it's loose. It is. Make sure that your ribber is set for normal knitting. Nothing's in hold, nothing's in part. Same with your main bed, nothing's in hold, nothing's in part. Now we're just going to do some transfers. We're going to transfer for 1 by 1 ribbing. Just to be clear, we are only going to do 25 rows in 1 by 1 ribbing, and then we're going to transfer again for 2 by 2 ribbing. We're going to pause. All right, last few stitches. Now we need the cast-on comb. So in order to put that up, lower the beds. Have my medium comb coming up behind. That's it. And on here. Okay, everything looks good. We're not splitting any of the stitches. Looks good. I'm going to put on some weights. Well, actually, before I put on any weight, I'm now going to remove the normal cast-on comb because it is in the way. Alright, so now there's nothing interfering with the ribber comb. We can now put weight on the ribber comb. To do our ribbing. Make sure that your cast-on comb is not stabbed into your yarn. You don't want to have any looping. Alright. We are good to go. Reset our row counter. Now, we did our E-wrap, that counts as 1. We did our first row of knitting, that counts as number 2. So we're going to start on row 2. We're now going to knit 25 more rows, so we're going to knit to row 27. Now, I think I forgot to push this up. I did. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to restart this and then we'll come back. I kind of messed up. All right, take 2. Okay, so we're going to start at this point where I'm E-wrapping. There's no shortcuts. When you screw up, you start over. And I screwed up, so I started over. Same maneuver. We'll come back when we do the transfers. Okay, so now we're going to transfer again. So 1 by 1 ribbing. Then I will put in the cast-on comb, push up the ribber this time, and then we'll start knitting. Well, at least we didn't get too far before I messed up, right? So here we are again. All transferred. Lowering the ribber, just a little notch. I'm sure nothing's getting caught anywhere. There's something in the way here. Oh, of course there is. Okay. Coming in along the ribber. Oh, of course. I have no idea what that was all about, but we'll find out. Okay. My dog is losing her crap, which happens. Push back all the needles you do not need anymore. Push up. your ribber. Now I get to mess around with the cast-on comb again. My dog is going to continue to lose her crap. As I said, okay, weights are on. Double checking, everything's up. Just for my mental health, I'm going to move my needles on the ribber up and the needles on the main bed out. We're going to have a little bit of an issue here. Not exactly sure why, but we're just going to be calm and let it flow. Our settings are normal knitting, tension 3, nothing pushed, nothing's in hold. River is tension 3, everything's normal, nothing's in hold. We're just going to knit across and hope for the best. Oh, and make sure that you're not caught in the river comb. Okay, so that first scary row is all done. Now we need to knit to row 27. Everything's looking pretty good. I have 2 small weights, 1 large weight, and now we're going to continue knitting. Not sure why this end is sticking up. There's nothing sticking out. It's just the way it is today, I guess. I'm just going to keep pulling down in the center. Okay, so that's row 27. Now we're going to take our double eye again. And now we're going to transfer for 2x2 ribbing. So 2 up, 2 down. Make sure that when you do your transfers that you put the needles that you're not using out of work and into a position. As usual, my family is extremely noisy when I'm trying to make videos, which is why I don't like making videos when they're home. But I have no choice in this matter. 1 second, please. Okay, so we're still transferring. My family is still making an excessive amount of noise. This very reason is why I usually bring the dog downstairs with me so that they can't play with her. So now on this one edge, we have 2 up top. And then it goes into the ribbing. Here we only have 1. For my mental health, I'm going to use one of these claw ones. I'm going to come up in behind. Try and grab that stitch. Okay, that didn't work very well. Try again. Come from above this time. Actually, I'm going to lower this again. Put that away. In tight. Grabbing that stitch. Coming around the cast on comb. And putting an extra weight on there. Okay, that should be grabbed now. It now says in the instructions to increase your tension to 5. I don't have a problem with that. So let's knit this ribbing all in tension 5, 5. We are supposed to decrease 1 stitch. Hey, we're supposed to decrease this stitch. Okay. So I'm going to bring it in. And then flip it down. And then I'm going to use another one of those claw weight thingies. To make sure that this stays where it's supposed to be. This time I should be able to grab it. And I did. Okay. One of the biggest fears here is that I'm actually in the ribber bed and not on the stitch. Deep breath. We now have 72 stitches. We're going to knit 38 rows. So let's reset our row counter. And we will knit 38 rows, and then we're going to pick a side to shape the heel. Everything looks pretty good. Make sure everything's good. What are we supposed to do? 38. Okay, because we're on this side, we're going to transfer this side. So we're going to do partial knitting. So for this heel, we're going to transfer all the stitches up on the right side and down on the left side. I know. Seems weird. Am I even recording? Yes, I am. Okay. Okay. So that's all up, and these ones all come down. I'm not sure what's going on here. Just seems a little loose in the middle. All right, so now you take a deep breath. Move all your stitches out of work. And now you can actually move your river down one full stitch. I mean, one full row. I may have a mess up, but that's okay. You can now remove your sinker plate. I mean, connecting arm. Put your sinker plate back on. Put your carriage into hold. You have a tight space. Do your best to put your yarn in. Take a deep breath. And now we're going to start the fun. On the side opposite the carriage. Okay, they're now in hold. Leaving 29 in working position. Okay, 35 in working position. On the side, the carriage, bring 31. Hang on. Return neighbors on the side opposite the carriage. Bring 37 needles. Yeah, we did that. To holding position, leaving 35 in working position. Oh. Okay. So that leaves 35 in working position. I always screw up when it comes to doing the heel because I never remember to put that extra one into hole. Knit 1 row and place the wool under the inside needle in holding position. Okay, so here we go. Putting it under and now working forward. Okay, so we've done that one. Three. Like I said, I usually mess up my heel, and I think I see why. Because I always forget that extra one. Now, one of the things that we do need to do is we need to put a weight on either side of the needles we are working with. That's what these are for. And here we go barking again. There are now 9 needles in holding position on the right and 17 in working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oops, we did one too many. My bad. All right, so we're we did the under. Now let's go backwards. Bring the needles to working position by pushing one inside needle back on the side opposite the carriage. Many more times. Okay. And you're still wrapping, by the way. Move up your claw weights here. Move these up again. All right. I forgot to move that one back. Okay, that one is now back. So now we need to transfer our stitches back onto the beds. But we have to remove our sinker plate here and put back on our connecting arm. Put your yarn back in your connecting arm. And move back closer. All right. Now you need to try and remember how exactly you had this set up. I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, these ones belong up here. So those are down and these are up. Looks about right to me. Make sure that's all the way up. It is. I have a feeling this is going to be a really funny looking sock, but it's okay. We can always do the next one better. Okay. So these ones are down. And these ones are up and then down. If I've done this right, then this side should all be down. Now you could move your cast on comb up, which probably would be a great idea. So I think that's what we're going to do here so that we don't lose any stitches. And then I just got to remember to move my ribber back up. So after we transfer, I'll lower the ribber again, and then we'll move the cast on comb. That's right. These ones are lowers. Okay, so let's move this one back. Make sure nothing's out of play. Okay, so now I'm going to take my triangle weights and we're going to very carefully place them to weigh down the work. While I remove the current comb. Okay. Everything is moved. Lowering the river. Moving all the weights. Making sure that none of the of course. So what's happened is this wire here seems to be inside. Nope. Okay, so I didn't actually do what I thought I did. Whew. Okay. Moving these all down. Looks good. Putting my weights back on. I'm just going to do the large barrel weight at 40 on this side and a large one at 40 on this side instead of trying to mess with what's inside the sock there. Okay, we're all weighed down. Everything's pushed up. Nothing's caught on anything. Deep breath. Now we're going to continue. Yes, we're still recording. Okay. So, bring needles to working position. Opposite carriage. So many times. Levers back to normal knitting. Now we're going to knit straight for 76 rows. So let's reset our row counter. And now we're going to knit 76 rows with our new setup. Everything's looking good. I'm not seeing any reason to panic. I'm just moving these edge stitches out so that they knit for my own mental health. Okay, let's take a look. Everything's looking pretty good. We have these two claw weight thingies. I'm going to use them on the edge. Stab that last one. So we're not stabbing into the rubber itself. Okay. Small weight. Same on this side. Small weight. Okay, so now I know that those are going to knit off. We will continue to row 76. Now, before we stop, double check our work. It says 76 rows. Okay, now it says repeat steps 7 to 14. So we are going to now short row for the toe. Deep breath, transfer again. I'm going to pause while we do this part. Okay, because I'm paying attention this time, we are coming up to 0. Now we do the one extra one on the ribber, and then we put the rest on the main bed. And then we'll do the lowering of the ribber and the putting on of the sinker plate again. Okay, to be clear, we have 35 on top and 37 on the bottom. Lowering your ribber. Off with the connecting arm. On with the sinker plate. Work a little hard. Get the yarn into the sinker plate. Taking a deep breath. Going to read carefully again in case I missed anything. Again. Okay. Knit one row and place wool under inside needle in holding position. So, oh, hang on. I'm going to transfer this one back. For just a second. Because this would be in holding position. So now we're going to knit across in hold and then start the fun stuff. Oop, missed. So that's 5 and 4. Now that's 5 and 5. 6. Now that marking is not my dog, that's my neighbor's dog. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. Is that 9? 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, one more across. That is now 9 in hold. Knit across once more. Wrap it. Move it. Put it back down. Wrap it. Move it. And across. My goodness, that puppy is mad. That goes down. Now, what should happen is that should get wrapped on there. So, because that's going to cause a hole. We don't really want a hole there. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe I'm going to bring out this stitch here, and then we're going to go around. Okay. I'm going to have to pause for just a second. Okay, so this completes the actual knitting. So what we're going to do now is remove the sinker plate, and we're going to transfer all the stitches upward. So we have this one that we just put the stitch on. Okay. Now we're going to transfer its partner up onto it. Thereby, we should be preventing a hole from forming right there. We are now going to remove the sock on waste yarn. And I think you probably need a really good contrast color in order to see the stitches properly. So I'm going to switch to not blue for this contrast color. And then we just do some sewing and we should be good. So I'm going to pause again until I have these all transferred, and then we'll remove this on waste yarn. Okay, so that transfers. Remove these extra weights. That's the toe. I'm going to put just a triangle weight on here. This side of 0, small weight. This side of 0, small weight. Taking off my ribbon comb. Now I need to figure out how much yarn to leave. 1, 2, 3, 4 is probably okay. I better do 5. Now I need to find a contrast yarn in my stash. So you're going to have to forgive me for a sec while I go look. I'm not sure about you, but I think I found a pretty good contrast thread here. Make sure we're not in hold still. Knitting across. That's just tension 5. Going to do around 10 rows. Increasing the tension to 10, a couple rows. I'm not sure what that's caught on, but that's fine. A couple more. Now I'm going to cast this off and then we'll start stitching. You've seen me cast off enough times, so we'll come back when that's done. Okay, so here's our little sock. I just gotta move some stitches back. Okay, so this is the good side. Find the long contrast thread or ravel cord. Give it a good pull. Of course, my ravel thread doesn't care about the rules. There we go. And that disconnects that from the work. Now, that is the top of the sock. This is the side of the sock. And this is the toe of the sock. So now I'm going to sew together the toe and then the sides, and we should be golden. And that leaves a nice comfortable heel and a nice comfortable toe box. So we'll come back when I have this all sewn together and you'll see what it looks like. I did say the sock would look pretty goofy, and it does, but boy is it soft.